Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. Now this is day 22 of our Crafty Advent Calendar, and we're just going to get it open and see what we've got. We've got another package of sequins, another one of these challenging card makes. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Now this was a longer video. It was about 55 minutes in total before I sped it up and actually did my editing. So I did speed it up a little bit more than what I generally do, so I apologize for that. But so what I'm going to do is take our nested dies that we got previously, and I'm going to lay them down on this plaid card panel here, and we're going to cut two windows out with it. And I'm actually going to do a frame on each one of them. One will be a bigger window with a bigger frame, and the other one will be a smaller window with a smaller frame. So I'm just going to die cut that out, and I'm going to keep the frame so that we can layer it up like that, and I'm going to lay the other piece aside. I'm not going to use it, but we can keep it because it's, a cute little cutout. And we're going to make the smaller frame here on the top, just kind of line them up. I'm using the washi tape to hold it down so that it won't move when I go through my die cutting machine. And we're going to just cut out our other window. And we've got our frame, and we'll pull that out and lay that aside, pulling that off carefully so we don't mess up our patterned paper there. And now we've got the elements of a card base. So I'm going to bring in this pink, and this patterned paper here, the plaid, and this cardstock is Pink and Main that I'm using. And I've chosen this particular patterned paper here so that I could bring in the teal sequins with these blue ones, because this paper has blue and teal. Now here what I'm doing is using Pink and Main. This is a shaker panel for a 5 by 3 1/4 panel. Now my panel's not that size. I'm going to kind of cheat here and modify it. So my panel is a little bit bigger than that, but I've got the width around there, around my frame, and I'm just going to use it to pick up the sticky so that this will cover my panel. And I'm just going to burnish it down, and then we'll just trim the rest of those sticky edges off, and this will lay down real nicely on my panel here. So we'll get it trimmed up. So we're getting ready to start moving into the holiday week. We're closing in on Christmas, so I hope you've got all your planning and your gifts purchased and everything done that you need to do, and you're ready to just settle in and enjoy some quiet time, or noisy, depending on what you've got planned. We've had some snow. It's real nice, white and pretty out now. A little gray, but we've got some snow on the ground, so just real good timing for Christmas. And I've got most of my treats and snacks and everything made, and the gifts are all wrapped. And I think we're all set to go. Now here I'm using my shirt. There were some fingerprints on there for my fingers, and I just used my sweater to just kind of polish up that acetate so my fingerprints would not be in there. So here I'm going to lay down the pink sequins that we got in today's open. And I'm going to also bring in the teal ones. And like I said, it matches what's on my pattern paper there. And at first I lay just pink in one and just teal in the other. And then I thought, no, I'm going to mix them up. And so I'm just going to pour some pink in this teal and get it laid down on there. And then I realized I've got kind of the bigger batch of it at the top, and my bigger window is at the bottom there. So I just spun it around, and I'm going to get the release paper pulled off on here, and we'll get these laid down on here. So this is going to be a double shaker window. And I've, separated it so that it'll stay in each window and it won't all shake down to the bottom window. I'm just giving it a good press with my bone folder so that we're good and sticky. And now we've got our windows created. Now here I'm going to frame it out and just pop up the frame just to add a little bit of extra dimension to the card. And these strips are too big, and I've realized it. So I'm just going to take and cut them down. Now I have some smaller strips, but they don't have as much dimension on them, so I'm going to use these and split them And then we'll use the smaller strips for that smaller frame, but we'll have to double them up so that we can get similar dimension to what we have with these. And I've tried to, just really stick to the products that were included in the kit, with the exception of obviously cardstock and pattern paper, but just tried to really stick to it and just keep working with it just to show you the different things that you can do with these items. So that's why I've just kind of chosen to do that, not bring in any other elements for the most part. So I'm just going to get these really thin foam strips. I get these from scrapbook.com, and they don't have a lot of dimension on here. I think these are only 1 millimeter, so I am layering them up. But they're thin enough that they can go around that frame and not be seen, so that's nice. And we'll layer it up again. We will start our first, present unwrapping and mill on Sunday afternoon, and then so we're going to get our festivities started. The boys are the school's out now, so I'll have both of the boys and Harper this week. So we'll be busy with that. We'll get some stuff done too. We'll have some time to make some things and do some fun things. So I've got my card base. I just used hammer mill 110 pound. Brought my score buddy in. Yes, I did find it. And I'm going to get this panel laid down on my card base. And my base was a little off of my panel there, so I'm just going to bring in these great big Tim Holtz scissors and just cut it right off. And we have got a shaker card. Now we could stop there and add a sentiment, but this is why the video was 55 minutes. I am taking all of the floral dies and the stems and the leaf dies, all of them. I don't even know what's what at this point because I've got them all on, the same magnetic sheet there. And I'm going to actually pull all the tabs out of my Crafty Advent Calendar, and then I'll pull all the pieces back together and get them stored together, and then with that tab so that I'll know what's what and I'll be able to keep track of it. So that's my plan. Now I'm cutting this down so that I can use my scout, and I'm just going to lay all of these leaves and stems and everything down on this till, and we're going to just die cut them out in that. And we'll just get them laid down on here. I'm going to use my washi tape and hold them all down, and then I'll be able to pick them all up again and do a second run with them and position them on my cardstock there. And that'll give me plenty of pieces to work with. Just popping everything out. And we'll just lay these down again and run through a second pass and get a second batch of everything die cut out. And I'm using my pick tool to get them off of my plate. They're wanting to stick because my plate's pretty worn. I've got another plate, but I'm just holding out on it. What I'll do is I'll take that plate that I used on the top and I'll put it on the bottom, and then I'll put a new plate on the top. And that's kind of how I rotate mine. It just feels like I can get more out of them that way. I'm going to get all these floral elements laid down on here. We're going to do the same thing, tape them up, so that when we get done, we can just put them back down and make a duplicate pass with them. And for some reason, I am hungry. We had a late lunch. Obviously, I'm doing this video the day before. We had a late lunch, and I just actually made eggs and bacon and toast is what we had, but it's 4 o'clock already, and I'm starving. Anyway, so if you hear my stomach growling, I apologize for that. And so now we've got all of our bits and pieces here, and I'm just kind of organizing the floral heads, to be with their similar, I've got 2 of each, so I'm just kind of lining them all up together and figuring out what bits and pieces need to go with which. And then I'm going to grab some ink. I've got some Gina K ink here. I've got slate, and I've got a plum color. I'm not sure what it's called. And I'm adding the plum to the pink just on one edge of the pink and just adding a little bit of dimension to it. And I'll do this with all of the pink pieces, and then I'll use the slate on the green and just get them inked up. And this will just add a little bit of dimension to our floral elements. So we'll get that plum cleaned off the desk, and then we'll bring in the slate and we will do the green or the teal ones. And it'll just add a little dark shadow to these. And they're little pieces, so I'm getting my fingers dirty, but they'll clean up just fine. And we'll get that mess cleaned up, and then we're going to start assembling these elements here. And we've got like the cup, this is a 2-layered piece that came with it, and we're going to get them layered up together. And I'll actually make it a 3. I think I add another center to it this time and make it have all these little bits and pieces, and I'm not sure what goes with what, but I'm going to use it all to just to kind of add some various interest to the florals. And then these are the ones that have the cups, where you've got a 3-piece that you lay on top of this big flower, and you just layer it up, and it kind of makes like like a buttercup looking type of flower. Just cleaning up the glue with the pointed end of my pick and stick tool, and I didn't get any ink on that, so I'm going to bring the brush in and ink it up. And then I've looked around, I can't find the other piece to that buttercup. And I've kind of lifted everything and looked around. I'm going to do some more looking, trying to see, and then I'm just going to take that die and die cut another one out, because I can't seem to find it. I might have thrown it away, or I don't know what I did with it, but I'm just going to get another one, and we'll ink it up, and then we'll get it laid down on here. And so we're going to have 2 of each of these flowers and stems and inserts and all that. This card was a bit fussier than I think some of the other ones I've done on the Crafty Advent Calendar, but I really like the results of it once it comes together. So I hope you can stay through to the end and check it out. If you do, let me know that you've made it to the end. I know some people just have a short amount of time to watch, and they just kind of catch a little bit of it and then move on. So this is the stem that has those 3 little buds that you put on there. And we'll get all those laid down on there. So as I'm talking about being hungry, I'm thinking I'm going to make a homemade pizza tonight. My husband loves my homemade pizza. I load it up. What I do with it is I use hamburger on it, and then I'll put onions and green peppers and green olives, and what else do I put on there? And then mozzarella cheese, and anyway, and it's really a good combination, and it's kind of a big pizza. It's pretty thick, and he really enjoys it. It's been a minute since I've made it, because I've been on this intermittent fasting and carb cycling diet, and so I've not been eating a lot of carbs, but I've reached my goal, and I'm trying to kind of maintain and not lose any more, so I'm introducing a few more carbs back in than what I had previously been doing. So I'm thinking it'd be a good time to have a homemade pizza, and maybe even have game night. So I'm thinking about doing that. So last night we went to the DQ because I'd made a meal for my girlfriend that had surgery. So tonight I need to make a meal. So just getting all these little bits and pieces put together here. And I love it. I will say, if you've been watching me, as part of the Crafty Advent Calendar and you're new to my channel, and if you like Spellbinders, I have got a whole bunch of Spellbinders product that I'm going to be working with in the upcoming days following, the completion of this Advent Calendar. So you want to check back. I do a daily video each day, and I am an affiliate for Spellbinders, and they offer me up most of their core products, and I usually, for the most part, will take them on and work with them. Some things I don't always take everything or get sent everything, but I do get sent a lot. So if you enjoy Spellbinders, I will be having a lot of content on that. So just wanted to point that out for those new subscribers who are following along with the Crafty Advent Calendar. I've got some fun stuff. I've got a live coming up on Sunday night, in which I'm going to work with some new product that's really fun. And we'll be doing some better pressing and some die cutting and some glimmering and that type of thing. So if you like that, I go live Sunday nights at 8 p.m. on my channel, and it's a real fun night of crafting. And we just do a little bit of chatting and just crafting and have fun. So now I'm just I'm just arranging all of these floral elements on the corner of this smaller window, and then just doing some tucking and arranging. And I'm going to put this little bow down there. I did die cut out 2 of the bows that were also part of the kit, and I'm going to do the same on the lower right hand side of this other box, and just lay all these elements down. And we're just layering things up and just kind of creating a cluster of flowers there. And I just tried to bring back in the same colors that was in my pattern paper. That's why I selected the cardstock that I selected to die cut all these pieces out. And we'll just keep tucking until we use everything up. I'm going to use all the bits. I've got, I think, 4 center pieces up there next to my glue press. I won't be using those, but I'm going to use all of the floral elements and the bows and everything on this, and we'll just fill it in. And for this one, I'm not actually going to use a sentiment on it. It could be a note card. I could put a happy birthday. I could do a thinking of you, get well soon, anything. But I think it turned out really cute. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye now.